Scholars! It is late in the evening. My sleep schedule has been jacked the crap up the past 2 days. I did not get any sleep. I was like waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I slept for at least 12 hours. It's like almost 3 o'clock p.m. Yeah. And so this video for Sunday is late, but I wanted to do it. And I will just let you guys know that I do plan on doing my things I hate about the new update coming out, because I still want to do it. It's just been so behind and tired. But hopefully that changes. I also have a script for my Brutally Honest review for Rights of the Nine done. And I've got a bonus video that is going to be a bigger project that I have to work on. A lot of stuff in the background, and it's been just kind of draining, along with trying to do reorganizing and deep cleaning my house, because, you know, you can't really do as much cleaning as I would like to do because of work, and then also trying to do videos. So I've been putting stuff on the back burner for too long, and so I have to get to it. So just so you know, little update on my life. But here we are, no fancy intro, just getting right into it. Today we're going to look at Destiny expansions. That's right, we're looking at the Destiny expansion tier list, and we're going to go through and put them in order based on from the beginning of Destiny to essentially the end, because, you know, the final shape was the big conclusion of the 10-year saga. So how did it pan out? And I'm gonna say this right now: the location of where they are at matters absolutely. I'm going to include the I'm not including seasons. I don't know if I want to include how the year went for it, though, like just the expansion and the year that came with it. I'm not including, I can tell you right now, what I'm not including is any free updates. A perfect example would be like Forsaken had so many big changes that happened, such as going from double primaries to specials, and being able to have specials in the primary slot, being able to run like 3 shotguns, 3 fusion rifles, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to count that because that was a systematic change that was free. I'm not considering free changes. What did you get for your money's worth, right? That's what we're looking at. I'm going to do it in order, which means we're going to start all the way back to Destiny 1. Oh, and I should say that Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 are just their own, whatever they came out with is essentially what they are, right? Destiny 2 and all its changes and everything at release, we're looking at systematic everything, because that was Destiny 2, the foundation, right? Same thing with Destiny 1. Destiny 1, story-wise, all over the place. It was a hot mess, but it had fun multiplayer. It had great gunplay, and just the vibe of it. I still think that Destiny 1's vibe is better than Destiny 2's, because it still feels like sci-fi versus fantasy, right? Science, and you could say, well, fantasy is sci-fi, but you're right, but not exactly. Like when I think of sci-fi, I think of like aliens versus, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, right? Those are two different kind of things. And so that's how it feels. It feels like Destiny 1 was like aliens versus Destiny 2, which has become Dungeons and Dragons. Quirky, not as you can kind of taste a little bit of the OG Destiny and like King's Fall in Destiny 2, right? You can feel the vibe of what they were going for, and you just don't feel that same vibe, in my opinion. So it has a vibe that, you know, you can't replace. Now, would I give this F tier because it was a hot mess? No. I'm gonna put B. It was good for what it was. The multiplayer was fun, and it was a hot mess, but I still had a good time of it. But I did leave before Vault of Glass came out. It wasn't until like leading up to the Taken King that I came back. That will kind of mess with some of the other things, like House of Wolves. I did not participate in like the roaming wolves. Obviously, I did go back and redo all the story and all the content involving House of Wolves. I thought Prison Elder was good. The campaign was fun. It was probably like the first time it felt like we had a solid story. I would say even like Prison Elders with the challenge it provided. I would say it's B. And yes, I know a lot of people are like, Volglass should make this S tier, but like, one piece of content isn't going to be enough to make me feel like, yes, S tier. Sorry, I don't. I don't think that Vault is worse than. I can't say Prison Elders was better than Vault Glass though. Like comparing, I think the story is better here. Like overall, like it's more coherent. But I still think that Destiny 1 as a package was better. And then we have the Dark Below. This is probably the first time I'm gonna say that I liked Crota's End. It was the first and last time I ever soloed a raid completely by myself. And yes, you could say, well, back then it was actually just a glorified strike. And sure, you'd be right, but I still had a fantastic time soloing Crota. Really good time. It was really fun. Do I think everything else about it was better? Nah. I mean, the story was fine, and Crota, like I like Crota's End, but I'm trying to think what else did Crota what else did happen? What else was really provided? The story was all right. But I'm not remembering anything. At least I remember facing off against Skolas or Skolass. Like I remember that, and I would put that before like Prison of Elders. Man, like I said, Prison Elders versus Crota's End. I would take Crota's End all day, especially the weapons. You know what? Story was great. I'm still gonna give it. I still don't think it was better than Destiny 1 than Vault. Nothing's beaten Vault Glass. Then we have the Chosen One, the first S tier. Taken King, like after going back and replaying all of Destiny 1 again on all three characters, I did it 3 times, get all characters ready for the Taken King. Came back. By the way, PlayStation wasn't even my original account. It was Xbox, and then I gave up my Xbox. Then my buddy was like, hey, you need to play. I will buy you Destiny, the expansions. You just have to buy the Taken King. So, okay, I got a PlayStation. He bought me the expansions. I bought the Taken King, and I grinded all 3 characters out. And my God, story phenomenal, weapons amazing. This expansion had so many. Even after you beat the main expansion, like the storyline, there were so many other missions afterward that kept going. The exotic mission, especially with the sword. Touch of Malice itself was a secret that you went down this, like, it was just phenomenal. The strikes, the Cabal Brothers, man, God, if I wish we could have had Cabal Brothers in Destiny 2. Cabal Brothers, the Sunless Cell, so iconic strike, especially the strike specific loot. Like, Titans got the gauntlets that made you have like a chainsaw. It was freaking badass. And then Hunters had the no, it wasn't Hunters. What was it? What I think it was a Warlock. Someone got the helmet. I think it was Titans. I think Titans got the helmet again. Oh, that's gonna bother me. Destiny. It's gonna bother me. We have to do it live. It's not live, but Destiny 1, Sunless Cell exclusive loot. Darkblade Titan and Darkblade's fusion rifle. That's right. There was two different things to chase. The helmet and the fusion rifle, which I don't remember much about the fusion rifle. But man, yes, S tier. And we got, like, people don't realize how big King's Fall is. Like, we got the first transversal, like the entrance transversal. Then we got the ritual. Then we got the War Priest, Golgoroth's Maze. Then we got Golgoroth. Then we got the Penis Walls, which is iconic, Penis Walls. We got the Wizards, the Twin Sisters. And then we got Crota, or not Crota, Oryx himself. Like, it was a big raid. Like, it was a hefty raid. Like, so many different parts of it. Like, there was at least 4 different boss fights alone, which is something that a lot of Destiny raids don't have. Destiny 2 raids don't have, right? It was big. Like, this was Forsaken before Forsaken was a thing. So it's definitely S tier. Then we go into Rise of Iron. I'm sorry. There is no shot. I love Wrath of the Machine. I think Wrath of the Machine is one of the best raids ever made. The fun, the intensity, the excitement, the visuals. But there is no shot in hell that Rise of Iron is better than the Taken King. And substance and in content. It had 5 missions. It had the Plague Lands. It had the Archons activity. It had 2 public spaces, which was cool. Especially being able to go to the Iron Temple for the first time and explore that and the secrets. The campaign was all right. It wasn't over the top. But the thing that made it the most exciting was Wrath of the Machine. And so that's pretty much it. Like, there's no shot. I'm sorry. Wrath of the Machine, badass. Would I say that Wrath of the Machine is better than Oryx? Yes. Maybe not in length, but in just the intensity and excitement level, Wrath of the Machine is incredibly exciting. Now that we're done with Destiny 1, we jump into Destiny 2. This gave us the Leviathan. This gave us all the strikes. It gave us the generic supers that we had. We also have to think of systematic. I think the story of Destiny 2 was good. Unfortunately, I think it was murdered to the point that people forget about how good the story is. Like, it was very... Like, I like the story. I think it was a little overkill going to multiple planets. I think it was way overkill. Like, that's how they introduced the whole solar system. It was like, hey, go find this person, this person. It was just, it felt overkill. But outside of that, the story was consistent. It was complete, unlike Destiny 1. But why is Destiny 1 in B tier and Destiny 2 is D tier? Is because Destiny 2 may have improved upon the story, but it went backwards in every aspect and regard that was Destiny 1. Guys, you like chasing loot? Well, we're removing that. Guys, you like challenge? Just do heroic public sectors. You guys, you're excited about Gil and Gallahorn? Guess what? Everyone gets exotics. You get an exotic, you get an exotic, you get an exotic. You just killed a random red bar in a public space? Here, have an exotic. What's that? You want to use shotguns? It's in your heavy now. I mean, today, Darcy is a relic of a time gone past, and it is still a perfect example of why snipers should never be heavy weapons, because it's still fucking ass. Like, Whisper is probably the only thing that's survived. That and maybe holy smokeronis, the Leviathan shotgun, why it's gonna kill me. You know exactly, big boy shotgun. That's another one that pops up once in a blue moon that people do use for niche situations, but at least it's being used, right? No one gives a shit about Darcy, even with the buffs that they did to it. But yeah, Destiny 2 did so much detrimental harm to the franchise and that it literally almost killed all of Destiny. You know, with that being said, like, talking about, you know, no. There is a place for F. Because as bad as Destiny 2 is, there is worse. There is worse. All right, let's start with Curse of Osiris. 2 blues, 2 tokens in a blue. Yeah, 2 tokens in a blue. Remember that meme? Listen, I think the public space for Mercury was cool. It was small, but it was cool. I think what made it felt worse was the Infinite Forest, which was the selling point. This is something that you guys need to realize for Edge of Fate. I think Curse of Osiris is a perfect example of Bungie over advertising and hyping something up when it comes to the public space of our world. Is that they hyped up the Infinite Forest. They had that in a reveal trailer focusing heavily on it. Like, guys, it's going to have all these different options and different routes. It's so exciting. And then we played it. We're like, after the first couple times, you're like, can we just get to the thing? Like, it feels like 90% of the missions were just the Infinite Forest. Like, can we get somewhere now? Like, that's exactly what they're doing with Edge of Fate, which is funny that they're still making the same damn mistakes. Oh, nope, no, you don't. But I think, again, the storyline was good. It's still following the trend of the Sin of Destiny 2. The weapons were very cool looking, but very mid. Like I don't understand. They were not exciting at all. But I did like the story. The story was fine. It was cool. It was interesting. I think the only thing that I did not like was the final boss. The boss itself was cool, but I mean, we're just running around chasing, illusions of Osiris, and he's fighting the boss, and we're just kind of like, it doesn't feel like a real boss fight. It just feels like a quick time event, which is not good. It's not good, Chief. It's not good. So with Warmind. Oop, wait a minute. No, that's Beyond Light. This is Warmind. I'm not counting. Here's the thing. I'm not counting Whisper. I think people are going to try to pair. Whisper was free, and it was on Nessus. You didn't have to buy Warmind to have access to the Whisper quest. That's the only thing that people love to glaze about this. And yes, EP, Escalation Protocol was fun. Like, it was the first time we had a real challenge, something to farm for. And it was only because they made 3 weapons really strong. Technically just 2. Actually 3, because the sniper had box breathing, which that was before it was nerfed. Same thing with trench barrel and the shotgun before it was nerfed. I'm sorry. We killed, like, the story was all right. I think I like the story better for Osiris and Warmind. Like, the whole premise is the hive are waking, and we're going through to kill a hive god, which we kill a giant freaking hive worm. And the most, like, I think it should have been a raid. Like, if you're going to kill in the storyline, hive worms were like this pinnacle power level thing. And then suddenly we see one and we just bitch slap this thing like it's nothing. It was cool, but it felt like it should have been a raid boss fight. Like an enemy on that size, an introduction, the lead up to it. It just felt lackluster, especially after we killed Oryx. Like, we killed Oryx in Destiny 1, and he just was this big baddie, and he was actually like a raid boss. It's just, it doesn't feel weird, but I do think it was better. Do I think it's better than Destiny 2? Yeah. I mean, Destiny 2 had a lot of content, so no. I mean, we're fighting over D tier right now. But I do think it was better in Curse of Osiris in terms of like mission level. Like, I think there was a lot more to do. And unlike Curse of Osiris, even though I like the story better, this had a lot more exploration. And I think the secrets were more engaging. Also, the public event being EP was better than two tokens that are blue. Yeah, so we can move on. And then, of course, the sunsetting happened, and everything in their expansions were wiped away. Seasons. Actually, Seasons didn't show up until Forsaken. What am I talking about? Forsaken. Forsaken is absolutely S tier. Not only, and I'm not counting the changes, because that was huge, but alone, outside of them fixing the mistakes of Destiny 2, they added new supers, which was exciting. They added brand new weapons, like multiple locations. Like we had the Dream City, then the Tangle Shore. We had a villain that we actually hated, Aldrin, and then leading into the raid, Riven, which was very exciting because in this time we'd never seen a wish dragon. We'd never seen a wish dragon before, which is freaking hot, even though it looks really weird, but it's still exciting. And remove the cheeses from Last Wish. Last Wish was probably one of the best raids we ever had. I mean, just mechanically wise, it was a challenge and it was exciting. Yes, people still cheese Riven, but if you do Riven legit, it's a very exciting raid boss. Actually challenging. You actually have to work and coordinate as a team, which is what raid should have been from the get-go. And we got a dungeon. So you got a raid, you got a dungeon, a first ever dungeon. We never had dungeons before, and it was a good dungeon. Like it was back then it was actually challenging, and I know power levels changed, but back then it was a very challenging dungeon, and you're like, holy crap. And then to find out that they wanted you to actually try to solo it too, and you're like, what? You want me to solo this? Ow. But then the replayability, the cycling weeks, we had the blind well activity as well. Then we had, not only did we have blind well, which back then, I guess, and now it's now like whatever. But you gotta think back then, this was part of the full package. Then we had the Tangle Shore. We had all the lost sectors in that map. We had the lost sectors in the Dreaming City. We had hunts. We had a full length, like the storyline was just massive. But we also had hunts, like the extra activities to hunt these bosses. It was just content after content after content. It was massive, man. So much loot, so much things to chase, plenty of secrets and lore and tidbits. And the story overall made me care. Yeah, I don't think there's, yeah, I don't. Sorry. Forsaken remains #1 S tier right now. Then we roll out the Welcome Dragon to Shadowkeep. See, I don't Shadowkeep, like Garden of Salvation, mid. The storyline is a prelude to the darkness. The whole expansion is just leading up to, ooh, the darkness. And that's it. We didn't have like a real big baddie. It was just nightmares of different bosses. Like we're regurgitating other bosses like Crota and Skullass and all that, like Gull. Like we're just reusing old content for this. Like, I'm sorry. I'd almost want to put it in F tier, but that'd be an insult to it because at least it felt better than these. But it's definitely not good. I don't care what people say. It's not good. The hunts were all right, but again, you're just hunting old bosses in nightmare form. Sorry. Yeah, we got altars. I believe we also got Pit of Heresy, which I like that dungeon. It's just kind of been forgotten. So we got altars, Pit of Heresy. We got Garden of Salvation, which was mid. And we got the moon, which is like, oh yay, that planet that was for free in Destiny 1. You got it back now. It's back. After we asked why the moon was removed in the first place, but it's back. Isn't that exciting, guys? You paid for the moon. Actually, anyone can have access to the public space, but you couldn't play or do anything else outside of that. But like, yeah, it's C tier. I'd almost want to put D tier, but I do think it had a little bit more going for it than these, right? Again, not talking about systematic changes because those are generally free except for the base games. Beyond Light. I'm going to say that Beyond Light is, I'm going to say it's B tier. This is right after the sunsetting, and I'm not going to blame Beyond Light for sunsetting. This is a again, systematic changes. I'm not basing it, though. It'd be very easy to be like, this was a shit expansion because of sunsetting. This brought us Europa. That was our new world. Europa has the changing weather that they decided to do once and never did it again for some reason. We got hunts again. We got multiple strikes, which were all right. And then we got Deepstone Crypts, which honestly, I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry. I still think that these are better raids than Deepstone Crypt. Because again, the final boss is just a Destiny 1 boss again. Tracks, like, sure, the experience overall, but the content it provided is not that much. Now that I think about it, like, we have a campaign where we're chasing Aramis. You know what? We do get stasis. I'm going to be generous and do this, though. I think it's B tier. I think it is better because we did get stasis, which was pretty broken and strong. Which wasn't free. So we did get a subclass. None of these brought new subclasses or anything like that. This was just the base game. I will put Beyond Light here. I don't think it's better than Destiny 1 launch because of, I mean, that's an entire base game versus an expansion. And I think the entire base of Destiny 1 with Vault of Glass is better than Deepstone, in my opinion. Just the only thing going for Deepstone that really people will think about is the lullaby, the soundtrack. Like, it's cool, it's neat, but like, how many times do we have to fight Atrax? Come on now. Seriously, how many times are we going to fight Atrax? All right, now we're getting to the nit and gritty. Witch Queen. Man, this is hard. I'm going to put it here just so I can kind of visualize. Witch Queen had an amazing storyline. You know what? I'm sorry. Hear me out. This entire expansion is being carried on the back of Wrath of the Machine. If we're going by, if we're ranking these by raids, it would be up here. But by content, there's no shot Rise of Iron is better than Witch Queen. Especially the fact that Witch Queen had Val the Disciple. Now, do I think that Wrath is better than Val? Absolutely, because I think the only thing that I care about Val, I think most of Val is pretty boring, except for like Caretaker and Rolk. Those are really fun boss fights. Everything else is pretty mid, in my opinion. Like, most of those encounters are pretty mid compared to like Wrath of the Machine. Like, running around from the giant freaking death machine, that was badass. Sorry. But now, comparing Witch Queen to Taken King, even though this had an amazing story, introduced Hive Guardians. This introduced the Taken. I'm sorry, brother still has it over sister. Simply because this had so much content. Like, people do not realize how much content the Taken King brought compared to like Witch Queen. Witch Queen was a decent sized expansion, but it's not as big as you would think, right? I think it was just a little bit bigger than Rise of Iron. It had Wellspring, it had some strikes, and its open world, like a bunch of secrets. Like, using Deep Sight was like bunch of secrets. No new super, a new faction with the Lucent Hive. Val the Disciple. We've got the altars, the reflections that little activity, and then we had the Val activity, Perseverance or something, where you go through that. That's like a small little thing, not like a lot, but it had some stuff, but nothing compared to the Taken King. I am glazing the Taken King, but I think back then Taken King kind of set like its tone, and the only thing that upped the ante, in my opinion, was Forsaken. Then we have Lightfall. Put that shit in F tier. Why is it F tier? Well, we are riding up the hype of Witch Queen. Bungie had learned their mistakes from Destiny 1, Destiny 2, and they saw how successful Witch Queen was. They could have followed this exact same formula, but they decided to go all the way fucking back. The story was egregious all over the place. It was very apparent, and it was rumored that they split Lightfall from the final shape in order to pad content, right? This was just a filler episode, and it feels like that. It was insulting. And yes, there's Strand. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit. Strand isn't enough to make me even put it in D tier. It learned, like, it had, unlike Destiny 2, Destiny 2 didn't have Destiny 2 to learn from its own mistakes. But Lightfall had years of time for them to learn what worked and what didn't learn, and they decided to make the same damn mistakes. Like, what the fuck is the Veil? Still don't know what the Veil is. It was just this MacGuffin. What about the thing that, why was Callus trying to destroy the Veil? Like, he sent, the whole reason Rohan died was to stop the device, which was underneath the Veil, and he was trying to destroy it. Why was why was Callus trying to destroy the Veil when the Witness needed the Veil? Also, can we just talk about how at the end, when the Witness takes over our ghost and starts activating the Veil and attaching it to the Traveler, our surfboard buddy is there, but he waits until after our ghost starts falling down to grab it, when he could have just surfboard up, and everyone's telling him to take the shot and to destroy the ghost, like to build tension, though he could have just surfboard up there and grabbed the ghost. He could have just grabbed him, but he didn't do that either. Like, and then if you wanted to know what the Veil was, you had to play through Seasons of the Deep and go to a fucking computer to listen to some generic ass voice lines to get explanation of what the fuck what was the Lightfall. Nah, this thing deserves to be F tier. Root of Nightmares is a glorified like dungeon. I don't even say dungeon. It's a Nightfall. It's a glorified Nightfall. All the weapons were ass. Like, all of Neomuna's weapons were ass. Absolute garbage. The override activity was just more of the same bullshit we've had in the past. Neomuna itself was an ass location that they hyped up and made it seem exciting, but then you played it and you're like, well, this is just a really shitty place, right? It sucks ass. I'm sorry. New Lightfall deserves to be an F tier because it makes every mistake that any of its predecessors ever made. Messy story. Not learning from previous expansions or other games, and not, giving the players what they wanted. Shitty weapons that no one cares about. Nothing exciting. Only thing exciting about this Lightfall is Strand. That's it. That is the only saving grace this thing has. And I'm sorry, we gave that to, who do we give that to? Who did we give the new Lightfall? Oh, Beyond Light. That's right. We put it in B tier. It really could be C tier. But the raid and stasis is what puts us in B tier. No, this deserves F tier all day, every day. Shitty story, shitty weapons, shitty activity, shitty social space, and shitty raid. And unlike these, where they didn't have much to learn from, this had years of time to learn from. I'm not giving, no, F it. Then the final shape. I'm sorry. People still think that yes, we had Dual Destiny. We had Salvation's Edge. We had Overthrow and the Pale Heart with a bunch of secrets. Just like the storyline was all right. So we had Prismatic, which is pretty heat and pretty hot. I think I cared more about the Forsaken story, though. I was more engaged with the Forsaken story than I'm going to say it. The Witness was a bad villain compared to Aldrun. Like, the motivation, you could say, oh, but he's doing it for his sister, but he's also corrupted by Riven, which leads into Savathun. Like, there was build up. I'm sorry. The weapons were great in the final shape, but people just forget how much content we got. We got 2 destinations, a dungeon, a raid, plethora of missions, exotic missions. Final shape had that, but just not to the same extent, man. It was exciting. And just so you're clear, this is still S tier. I just think Forsaken was still better. And I'm going to say this to make people who are butthurt about for Final Shape not being number one. This is over delivery, the expansion. This is a height that we will never see again. We were never going to see it with the Final Shape. This is something that multiple studios worked on. This is something that, this is the unicorn of the Destiny universe. This expansion is a unicorn. If that makes you feel better. But yes, I do think that Witness was a weak villain. And he, unlike Uldren, who killed out Cade in front of us, the Witness he finger blasted one Guardian and fails to do anything throughout the entire story. He fails, except for lighting up the Traveler, which isn't that hard because the Traveler doesn't do anything except blast him with light and flowers. But literally, the Witness doesn't do anything. He does the Jedi mind trick. He does the Jedi mind trick to the ship, but then proceeds to do nothing with it, which I don't know why he wouldn't just crush it. And then he throws hands. For some reason, he chases Savala and Ikora and Cade and Crow with hands instead of just outright just blowing up the area and just killing everyone. It's just, I'm sorry, not a good villain. Not a good villain. He looked cool, but not a good villain. Uldren was a badass, proved in the very first mission, proved that he was a villain by killing someone dead. Sorry, nothing was proven with the Witness. So it's definitely, for me, the build up, this massive 10-year saga, it landed a little soft for me. That's why it's in second place to me, an S tier slot. But you can let me know. I know there's going to be people who are going to be arguing. It's kind of funny because it almost spells the word F. But yeah, you let me know what you think. I'm sure people are going to be. You know what? I don't know. I think the divisive bar is going to be right here. I think this is where people are going to debate. Is going to be right here. There's going to be a couple people who are Lightfall stands, but I do think this is where a lot of the argument is going to be. Maybe not in placement, but just the fact that they're the B, C through CD tier. I think most people agree, maybe not in the positioning, but they'll agree that these are all S tier expansions. And someone might argue that this was S tier, but I mean, A tier is still good, right? Wrath Machine. But yeah, it's interesting to see what people think what they think their tiers for expansions are. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the video. As always, don't forget to game out. Oh, last thing. Like I said, I do have rights to the 9 and that, so I do need to record that. So bear with me, okay? As always, game out. What's up?